know who hates vegans? A lot of people. A lot of people. I'll tell you right away, vegans are right. Vegans are correct. I'm not vegan. Fuck you, you're wrong. Nothing that the vegan said was wrong, but I feel attacked.
Okay. And fuck
So
you.
here I want to move a little bit away from pickup artists. I've been meaning to talk about a lot of things in this channel, but I've been focusing a little bit on pickup artists, and I'm not getting burnt out, but it's nice to have some variety. And so the reason I started this is because I like to talk about people who are wrong. Because it's fun to say, oh, this is why you're wrong, and this is the actual good way to think, and this is why you ended up with the wrong conclusions. That's interesting to me. That's something I really like to do. Obviously, as someone who studies psychology and social work, I'm helping people get out of their patterns that lead them to being wrong. Being wrong. Let's just say being wrong. But there are more, but there is one specific thing I have in mind that is even more significant to talk about. And that is people who are actually right, but they are pushing people away from the correct position. People who reach the correct conclusions, maybe for the right reasons, maybe not, but when they talk about what they believe is right, they do such a poor job that they push people away from that position. So, real quick, can you think of people who, by convincing convincing others that they're right, will end up making people hostile to them and to their movements? I've got one. I've got one for you. You probably already thought of that one. Yeah. Vegans. You know who hates vegans? A lot of people. A lot of people hate vegan. I'm just using this as a demonstration. If you Google the best pro-vegan arguments in YouTube, and this is incognito mode, so no bias there, supposedly. What does the algorithm barf up? And what we see here is what people are likely to click on, right? Okay, so CRISPRs, thank you. The top arguments against veganism. You've got shorts, every argument against veganism, how to be the vegan in a debate, destroying vegan with logic, vegan versus London meat eater, why eating animal is okay, one argument vegans can debunk, arguments against veganism, top 10 anti-vegan arguments, every argument against veganism, Dr. Gregor answers the hardest anti-vegan question, the biggest lie about veganism, etc., etc. It's all videos that are titled in a way that's anti-veganism. And actually, they're very tricky people, you see. Most, maybe it's half and half. Half of these videos are actually pro-vegans, but they use anti-vegan titles to, pull people in. And it seems to work okay. And what? Vegans, why do you lie? Well, it's because most people are hostile to veganism. So they use clickbaity or videos that appear to be anti-vegan to get the naive anti-vegan people to click them, and they'll hopefully learn that, oh, actually veganism is good. So, okay, people really don't like vegans. They really don't. Most people, on average. However, I'll tell you right away, vegans are right. Vegans are correct. I'm not vegan. I try sometimes I'll cook a vegan meal, maybe once a month or so. I don't shy away from eating meat, but is eating meat less moral than not eating meat? Well, yeah, kinda. I mean, it's good if animals don't suffer. I agree with that. But I also like to eat meat, so I don't want to stop, but I understand. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's correct. It's good that animals don't suffer. It's not good that they do. That's kind of, it's not wrong. Vegan meals are, on average, they're healthier than non-vegan meats. Non-vegan meals, not meats. On average, in my opinion, I'm not a nutritionist, but the most optimal way to eat would probably involve some form of eating meat. Probably not in the way that we do it today, but it's not fundamentally unhealthy. However, if I were to switch to a completely vegan diet right today, I'd have to work really hard to make it less healthy than the average diet you get in the US and Canada. I mean, technically, eating spoonful of sugar is vegan, but yeah, this is a little bit dishonest. Obviously, if I'm like, oh, I'm switching to an all vegan diet, I'm not gonna just eat sugar. I'm gonna eat veggies and tofu and soy and shit, whatever. But yeah, on average, a vegan diet's probably healthier than the average omnivorous diet you get in North America. So yeah, veganism is healthier. It's better for the environment. That's yeah. It's not like meat is 80% of uh, greenhouse gases, but it's still a significant factor. It's still contributing to uh, hurting the environment and helping with climate change, helping in the bad way, helping the climate going to shit. So yeah, it'd be better to go a little bit vegan at least. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I agree with vegans. It's good to go vegan, but they're so fucking shit at their job. And one of the reasons why this is the case, why people hate vegans, when picture in your mind a vegan, who are you thinking about? What kind of person is it? The average vegan is it's like it's me. It's just a person talking pretty reasonably. I told you I agree with vegan and I think veganism is good. Am I like pushy and telling you you're a bad person? And no, most vegan are like just they won't be mostly left alone. I think veganism is good, so I'm gonna eat vegan food. That's what they think. That's very reasonable. But the internet being the internet, what do you see when you see someone that's vegan? You see someone that's aggressively vegan. You see people like that vegan teacher that compares the meat industry to the Holocaust, which, I can see your logic, but that's a fucking bad look. That's really terrible. Okay, so people hate vegans. Why? They're right. They're correct. We should aren't we logical beings? Aren't humans the smartest being on the planet? Yes. However, we are still very dumb. We're just the smartest of the dumbs. So, let's take a small look at why we get so mad at vegans, even though they're right. So, we have a meat eater. Uh, is my camera? Whatever. And we have a pro vegan person telling you, oh, you should go vegan. So, what does the argument generally look like? Well, you should go vegan because consuming animal product is morally wrong. Therefore, if you consume animal product, that makes you a bad person. And it's something you see being pushed a lot. And again, the first statement, you should go vegan because consuming animal product is morally wrong. That's true. That's very true. It's not the most immoral thing in the world, but yeah, it's true. It's morally better to not eat meat. Sure. Yeah, I agree. Therefore, it makes you a bad person if you consume animal product, or a worse person. Worse person would be an easier pill to swallow, but bad person is generally how we go. We don't do nuance much. All right. So, on the other side, we have the meat eater. The meat eater likes to eat meat, by definition, and the meat eater think they're a good person. Most people think they're a good person. We get cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, again, pretty common concept. You probably already heard it somewhere down the line. Cognitive dissonance is, as you can see in this picture, when you hold two contradictory beliefs. More specifically, cognitive dissonance is the state of unease you're in when you have conflicting beliefs or conflicting behavior and beliefs. So, you feel bad for thinking or doing things that are contradictory. We want that feeling to go away. Don't like that feeling. So we need to get rid of it, is how the brain works. Okay? So, I like to eat meat, and I acknowledge that eating meat is bad. So, fuck you, you're wrong. Are you actually wrong, vegan person, for telling me that eating meat is wrong? No, she's a bit of stereotyping here. The vegan person that now we hate is right. Nothing that the vegan said was wrong. But I feel attacked. And fuck you for making me feel bad about my meat eating. Fuck you. It's your fault I feel bad. Fuck you. It does not actually make sense. But it's how your brain will work. We're going to blame the messenger. And what can we do to fix the cognitive dissonance situation we're in? Well, there's two ways. I can stop eating meat. I can just say, you know what, you're right, I will stop eating meat. Or I will simply think that you're wrong. Which one is easier to do? Is it easier for me to think you're actually an asshole? Or is it easier for me to completely stop the way I eat? I don't have to tell you. It's way easier to just think of the vegan as some kind of asshole who's wrong somehow. And you really see that a lot when you look at anti-vegan arguments. Like the anti-vegan arguments are so bad. They're really, really bad. Because they don't come from a place of, oh, I'm going to take a look at the phenomenon and try and see what the evidence are and come up with conclusions. No, it's like, I really want to keep eating meat and I hate you and your fucking stupid face. So, yeah, fuck you. We've got canines. Yeah, explain that, vegans. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, you look fucking dumb. Caveman, he ate meat. Animals in the wild eat meat. They're really bad arguments. Like, if you want to eat meat, that's good enough of an argument, in my opinion. It's your own comfort. Are animals being harmed by you eating meat? Yeah. Yeah. But is your comfort more important than some animals' well-being? I can't tell you that yes or no. That's up to you. Vegans think that no, my comfort is not as important than animal suffering, and they're not wrong. But you can say no, actually, my comfort is more important than some cow somewhere dying. You're not wrong. It's a moral statement. There's no right or wrong answer. So it's easier for me to eat meat. It's better for me. I like it more is a good enough argument. You really don't need to go further than that to justify eating meat. I'm not saying don't question your meat eating. It's fine to do that too. But yeah, the arguments against veganism are so bad, so bad. So if we agree, I agree with myself, but if you're reasonable, you can say, oh, well, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it'd be better to. So if we can agree that, okay, yeah, veganism is probably good. Okay, so if you were vegan, how would you argue to convince other people to go vegan? Because that's, as someone that believes veganism is good, that's what you should try to do. You should try to get other people to become vegan. Unfortunately, what we're seeing is from very vocal and viral vegans online is shaming. Is telling people, yeah, you're bad for eating meat, you're a monster. Also, if you're a vegetarian, that's not good enough. You're still a monster. It's about shaming the others. It More importantly, it's about me. It's about me feeling good about my choices. It's very selfish to use an argument of shame against other, because the point is not to change your mind. If I shame you, shame doesn't work. If I just go to a Republican and I tell them, actually, because of your beliefs, homeless people are dying and it's your fault and fuck you, and I just leave. Obviously, they're just gonna think I'm just some liberal asshole, which I would be. Oh, but if I want to change that Republican's mind, I need actual, reasonable arguments in a good way to present them. So, what could vegans say to convince omnivores to maybe go vegan? But there's a few. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but for instance, appeal to what they actually believe in. I'm pro-environment because I happen to live in the environment. That's where all my shit is. So if you tell me that, There's a way to help with global warming. Oh, what would that be? Eat less meat. Oh, yeah, that would help. Oh, I'll consider it. I'm not just gonna go change my entire life around it, but I'll at least start and make an effort towards it. People don't just go from 0% vegan to 100% vegan. We need to get eased into it. I'm getting eased slightly into it. Sometimes I'll make a vegan meal. We have some vegan friends when they come over. I'm the one that cooks. I've got a few good vegan recipes that taste great. Peanuts are a good way to help with that. Peanuts are great. Um, but yeah, just appeal to what they actually believe in. You like animals? Of course I like animals. It kind of sucks that the meat industry is like basically torturing animals. Yeah, that kind of sucks. You know, as a meat eater still, I like animals. I don't like it when animals get tortured and spend their lives in cages. You know what? I'd be okay eating a cow or a chicken that just lived on a farm comfortably, and then they laid eggs and they made milk, and at the end of their lives, well, we eat their meat. That's great for me. I think that's super morally okay. But cow and chickens living in 1 foot by 1 foot cages their entire lives, that sucks. That's not great. So free range chicken, yeah, I'm super cool with free range chicken. Well, if you're a vegan, you're trying to make an argument. You could eat vegan to skip that step, but eating free range is good too. Appeal to my values, appeal to what I believe in, and then I'll trust you, and then I'll wanna maybe get a bit more into it. Oh, a vegan friend? Do you know any vegan restaurant that are like kind of nice, that don't taste like shit, and just soybeans? Oh, of course there are. There's plenty. It's not that hard to make a decent vegan meal. Um, or super important too for an argument. Uh, don't just go, you need to be completely vegan now. Just baby steps. Oh, and that's what I'd say. Like, veganism is good. Maybe like once a month, try and make a vegan meal at home. Just try it. What's the worst that could happen? Vegetables are cheap. Meat, especially right now, meat is some meat is not that expensive, but the pieces of meat that are cheap are pretty mid anyway. So maybe try it once in a while, a vegan meal. Not all the time. Don't stop eating eggs all at once. Oh, you love eggs. Keep your eggs. You love them. But is ground beef that great? Ground beef is fine. I could go without. Maybe try replacing ground beef. Keep your eggs. Keep your filet mignon. Keep your ham. Keep your bacon. God, keep your bacon. But ground beef is just okay. Maybe I'll try something else. Baby steps. Don't make me completely reshape my way of life. Because then I'll think you're an asshole. Because it's way easier to think you're an asshole than it is to reshape my way of life. But changing ground beef for an alternative, that's not that big of a deal. That's pretty easy. I don't want to think you're an asshole. If I've got something that's easier to do, like eat a little bit less ground beef, sure, I'll try. I'll give it a shot. Don't shame me for my choices. Even if you're right, it doesn't matter if you're right. Have you seen Curb Your Enthusiasm? Larry David is right every time. He's also an asshole about it. And nobody listens to him. Mostly. I also want to use a second example, if you're so passionate about bad arguments, about another group of people that are right, that are objectively right. It was this year that the game, I might switch a little bit, we'll see. Actually, yeah. Hogwarts Legacy. The Harry Potter game. If you don't know, now you do. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, is a piece of shit. She's extremely transphobic. And not like, oh, I kind of wish trans people kept to themselves a little bit more. I think they're too aggressive. Maybe, if they were nicer about what they want, I'd support it. No. No, she's like, yeah, all trans people, all trans women are men and are rapists. Like, it's crazy. She's insane when it comes to trans people, which sucks. I liked Harry Potter as a kid. I mean, I grew up a little bit, so now it's like, it's okay. But I still have some nostalgic attachment to it. J.K. Rowling's a monster. Sucks. I wish she wasn't, but here we are. And when Hogwarts Legacy came out, so I'm really striking while the iron is room temperature here. It was in March, I think. There was a movement to boycott the Hogwarts Legacy game. Didn't work. It did not work. Let's look at the numbers. I do have the Wikipedia page. It sold extremely well. As of okay, it came out in February. As of May, 15 million copies sold. 15 millions. That's massive. That's it. That's insane numbers for video games. That's like, yeah. I saw somewhere that it was the best-selling game of the year, and I believe it. If it wasn't, it could have. You know, it also Baldur's Gate 3, which was much better, but it's not. Which game sells more is not about quality, my friend. It is not. Anyway, back to our PowerPoint. Because that's what we like. Yeah, no, actually, fuck the PowerPoint. Fuck the PowerPoint. Let's look at this post, this YouTube short. Is the sound gonna be okay? Yeah. When the game came out, there was a call to boycott the game. Did it work? Clearly not. Clearly, it did not work. It became the best-selling game of the year. Well, sucks. So, why did it not work? Why did it tell people, hey, actually, buying Hogwarts Legacy is bad because the author who's getting money from it is a really bad person? Well, because these were the kind of arguments we heard.
Something very clear. If you buy the Hogwarts Legacy game, you are contributing to transphobia. Even if you consider yourself an ally, even if you yourself are trans, you are contributing to transphobia. And that is not an opinion, it's a fact. J.K. Rowling, both through the words she says and direct financial contributions, is signal boosting and enabling multiple groups and individuals who are actively pushing for the stripping away and restricting of rights of trans people, especially in the UK right now. And it's working. If you pay for that game, you're contributing to that. Rowling has made it very clear she believes every penny of the residual checks that she gets to be proof that people support her and are fine with what she's doing. And no matter what other rationalizations you have, oh, I'm supporting the devs, I just really love this universe, that's fine, but you are also contributing to transphobia. Although note I said if you buy it, not if you play it. There's a debate to be had about big streamers, whether they should be boosting it, but for your average person, if you find a way to get it without paying for it, well, it's a tough.
So thankfully, this, I assume, a trans woman, that's the vibe we get, is not all bad here. There's a lot of shaming. Yeah, if you buy, you're directly supporting transphobia. And as we've seen, that means fuck you, I hate you, and you're wrong. Because I want to play Hogwarts Legacy. I like the Wizards game. But now you're telling me I'm a bad person for doing it, so fuck you, actually. It's how the brain thinks. The brain's dumb. Again, she was completely right. Every word she said was correct. And what she did say, which was, in my opinion, good, is playing the game doesn't make you a bad person. You can play the Wizards game and not support transphobia. If you go on the high seas, which I would never advocate for, I never advocate for. I haven't bought it because the game seems mid at best. So, we have the same situation as with the vegan argument. J.K. Rowling is a transphobe. My face is in the way. Buying Hogwarts Legacy hurts trans people, which is wrong. Obviously, it's not going to work on people who are also transphobes. No big surprise there. Back in the corner I go. But you want to play the wizard game. So, cognitive dissonance happen. I want to play the game, but it's wrong to play the game. So, actually, fuck you, you're wrong somehow. Every time. Every time. And that's what we saw. We saw a lot of people hating on these goddamn party pooper trans people, trans activists, Marxists, trying to tell me not to have my fun. Yeah, better. Trying to tell me not to have my fun. So fuck them. I'm still gonna buy the game. I'm even more gonna buy the game as a giant fuck you to these people. Shaming people, putting them in a situation where you have to choose between what they want to do and hating you, they're gonna hate you. They're gonna hate you because they really want to play the mediocre wizard game. They really want to do it because they grew up with it. You're attacking their childhood. That's how it feels. It's not how it is. You're right. Again, you're right to say buying the game supports transphobia. You're right. But it feels like you're attacking them personally. So, what can you do? Well, thankfully, what we just saw, maybe pirate the game. Don't. Stop, criminal scum. But it's a good way to get people to not support transphobia. Yeah, it's bad if you support the game, but you can still play it, though. That's okay. That's very okay. Unfortunately, a lot of people on Twitter were saying like, no, just playing the game is bad. Just play. If you play the game, yeah, that's bad. You're still a bad person. If you said to other people wanting to play Hogwarts Legacy that they're bad for wanting to play it, even if they pirate it, yeah, you're not helping. You're actively hurting. You're trying to shame others to make yourself feel better. You're hurting your movement. But what are the other good arguments aside than pirating it? Well, I want to reduce the cognitive dissonance so that wanting to play the game is not as strong as being afraid to call random people on the internet an asshole who's wrong. And we know on the internet it's very easy to consider other people assholes and wrong. It's very, very easy. So I really want to reduce what we've got on the left, the want to play the wizard game. I said a few times that the game seems mid as fuck, which I actually believe it seems like a pretty boring cookie cutter open world game, and there are 1,500 of those. But if I said, you know, did you know that J.K. Rowling is a kind of a transphobic piece of shit who said that every penny she earns towards the sales of Hogwarts Legacy, she's gonna put it into lobbying to hurt trans people, assuming that you as a person are like neutral or positive towards trans people. Okay, that's pretty bad, but I still want to play it. And not only that, but have you seen the game? It looks really boring. Yeah, it looked buggy, which I think it was a little bit at launch at least. It looks really boring. Like it's another like Ubisoft game. It's like all open world. At least I'd wait until it's on sale. You should play Baldur's Gate 3. That game's great, actually. That game's way better. You can play a wizard in that game, and the magic system is way more in depth. Don't you want to play an in depth magic system? Maybe not the best argument I'm making right now, but we're gonna reduce your want to play the wizard game. Not by lying, but by saying it's not worth playing. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look all that fun. And if you want to buy it, maybe wait till it's on sale. You really need to play it right now. It's probably pretty buggy. Probably is. You reduce the want to play the game. So that the easiest way for the person to reduce their cognitive dissonance is to maybe reconsider their choice of playing the game. And that's how you can help people make the correct decision when you're right. You reduce the cognitive dissonance. Not easy to do. It helps if the you who is in the end wrong somehow, is not just a random person on the internet, right? If it's just somebody on Twitter, it's very easy to dismiss that person. But if it's someone you know, someone you respect, it's harder. So you've got an easier time. Screeching on Twitter doesn't help. Doesn't. You'll only make people hate you.